Hey, 2 days left. What's up? This is a culture detective here investigating your favorite movies. And today I'm running out of time, sleep deprived, and yet I'm going to be doing what I think will be my last movie review of round three. Because after this movie, the next movie I'll be seeing in the cinemas won't be in LA. I will be going to a mysterious land known as Hong Kong. And of course, right before leaving and going back to Hong Kong, I have to watch a Hong Kong film. Last night, I went to the Secret Movie Club at downtown LA to watch Ashes of Time, directed by Wong Kar-wai, one of my favorite directors of all times. And on top of that, I think I ran into Simu Liu, the guy who played Shang-Chi. I wasn't really sure if it's him or not, but when my friend came up to me and was like, "Yo, is that Simu Liu?" I was like, maybe that's actually him. And I wouldn't be surprised. He dresses like Simu Liu, and it's downtown LA. Anything can happen. But anyways, I digress. Back to Wong Kar-wai's Ashes of Time. So far, I've already seen 6 Wong Kar-wai films before this one, and the 6 include Chungking Express and Fallen Angels. Both films are like twin movies. One of them is brighter, sweeter, the other is darker, edgier, quirkier. Both of these films are easily the most playful, accessible, fun, lonely and dreamy Wong Kar-wai films you can find. Of course, there is the iconic In the Mood for Love, which I wasn't real in love with in the beginning, but the movie is as elegant and as beautiful and as graceful and as depressing as it can get. The follow-up to In the Mood for Love 2046, however, is a lot more abstract, a lot more slow-paced, to the point where I sort of enjoyed it a little bit less, but I still think it's a really good film. Another film that is amazing from the guy is Happy Together, which explores Tony Leung and Leslie Cheung being stuck in Argentina, and it is so much more fiery and passionate than any other Wong Kar-wai films. And the last Wong Kar-wai film I saw before watching this one is As Tears Go By, his debut, which is actually really freaking good. Take your average 1980s Hong Kong gangster flick and imbue it with some dreaminess, bit of beauty, some nostalgic factors, and you get As Tears Go By. So I haven't seen a single bad film from the guy, and I can pretty much say the same for Ashes of Time. This is one of the few genre films that Wong Kar-wai has made. In fact, I think this is like, okay, 2046 is not really sci-fi, okay? It's not sci-fi. So that makes Ashes of Time and The Grandmaster the only 2 genre films he has ever made. And that's martial arts, especially with Ashes of Time, which is actually an adaptation of the legendary, one of the most well-known, best-selling novel, and that is Jin Rong, or Louis Cha's A Legend of the Condor Heroes. And in fact, before watching this film, I did a little research on Wikipedia so that I can get to know the characters a little bit, a little homework before I watch the film. But goddamn, this film is an adaptation of the Condor Heroes the same way Kubrick's The Shining is an adaptation of The Shining. It's not much of an adaptation. Wong Kar-wai basically take some of the characters and some of the settings and basically make a story of his own, in his own style, in his own way, which is actually really freaking cool. He basically takes a little artistic inspiration and still make a Wong Kar-wai film. He never sold out, and that is amazing. That's artistic and that's really interesting. Also, it's important to know that editing this film became so cumbersome that halfway through editing this film, Wong Kar-wai decided to write, shoot, and edit Chungking Express in the middle of editing Ashes of Time. So Ashes of Time is a lot more cumbersome and a lot more work than the playful Chungking Express. And I watched the Redux cut in 35mm film, which is really cool, but I heard that the original cut is way better than the Redux, so I'm not super in love with Ashes of Time, but I feel like I need to watch the original first. But anyways, I watched the Redux cut, where essentially the story goes that a bunch of film went missing in the processing plant, and the processing plant is about to shut down. So Wong Kar-wai and his team went to this film processing plant, took all the film they see, and just left, and like a bunch of film is missing, like 5 minutes is missing. So what they did is they essentially got all the other film prints of Ashes of Time and re-edit, like Frankenstein a new cut. And they also cut out a bunch of other stuff in order to make the plot more easy to follow, which I don't like. Add more stuff, but don't subtract, please. Please don't do that. Now, what's really interesting about this film is that this film is stylistically similar yet different from other Wong Kar-wai films. Just like other Wong Kar-wai films, you get a lot of shallow focus, a lot of slow motion shots, low frames per second. We have very unconventional film grammar. We don't have a lot of wide shots of people, but instead we get a lot of close-ups and inserts, which makes the film feel very dreamy and hazy and very clustered. We're always stuck in this one location. Leslie Cheung's character, Oh Young-fong, his hut, we're always stuck there and we don't go anywhere interesting. And that's really cool because I feel like I'm recollecting a memory or a dream when I'm watching this film instead of seeing actual stories. The colors of this film is beautiful. The sand is deep yellow and orange. The sky is clear blue. This film's color palette is like a precursor to the incredibly colorful Happy Together. And the narration is also very sentimental and abstract and diaristic. The characters and the Condor heroes definitely don't talk like that. It's a Wong Kar-wai thing. But also, this isn't your average Wong Kar-wai film. It's a very serious movie. It's very literal. It's very dramatic and epic. It's completely laced with music. And it doesn't have the trademark playfulness that Chungking Express, Fallen Angels, and Happy Together have, which is one of my favorite things about Wong Kar-wai films, is how playful and creative he gets. It also doesn't have that French New Wavy style of editing that I really love. So it's similar yet different. Another thing I need to point out is the crew behind this film is stacked. Like, not only we have Wong Kar-wai and production designer and editor William Chang, as well as DP Christopher Doyle behind it, which is already insane, but also you get Sammo Hung, literally one of the greatest action stars in Hong Kong, to be the action coordinator, the stunt coordinator, or more like the fighting coordinator, which is huge. Yo-Yo Ma on the cellos, and the music is composed by Frankie Chan, one of the most legendary composers in Hong Kong film history. So the cast, the crew is freaking stacked to the brim. Characters in this film come and go, which made the film not enjoyable in some parts, especially the first half where we have Bridget Lin's character who plays this split personality swordsman woman. And that part is really confusing because it's like a 20-minute long sequence of her character visiting Leslie Cheung again and again and again and again in the same location, but their dialogue's different. And it's just kind of boring and confusing, unfortunately. And then Tony Leung's character is introduced, and he plays this blind swordsman. He's definitely not a real character in the novel. Like, the novels definitely don't have a character like this. He's just there, and then he's gone for the rest of the movie. And I like that. It's kind of like, ooh, it's just like a passing memory, but I wish he's a little bit more involved with the overall story. But the second half gets way more involved with actual characters played by the other Tony Leung, Ka-Fai, as well as Jackie Cheung. And you get these Choi Hark-ish fights. There's one fight scene, but of course Wong Kar-wai films it with low shutter speed and step printing like he always does. But yeah, the people who has read the book will probably enjoy this film more because there's more context to, oh, so these characters are supposed to be like that, but this is Wong Kar-wai's rendition of these characters. That's very interesting. And overall, this is certainly a very interesting genre-bending film where multiple artistic styles sort of mash together. But yeah, I really want to see the original cut a lot. My other Hong Konger friend told me that the original is a lot better. Apparently they cut out a lot of really good scenes. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. If it's good cinema, it's good cinema. So I really need to see the original cut someday. And yeah, I just think overall the idea that Wong Kar-wai would make a martial arts film, but in his own style, is just really, really interesting. A bunch of directors can read the same book, but... Okay. A bunch of characters will read the same book, but they will extract something different out of it. And when Wong Kar-wai sees this book, it's the complicated relationships, the sentimentality, the dreaminess that comes out of it. And this film is exactly that. It's gorgeous, it's very interesting, and I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 out of 10. So, have you watched Ashes of Time? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.